Hey, listen!
This weekend, President of Nintendo of America, Doug Bowser, has begun tweeting about his adventure to Japan. Now, Doug Bowser has gone to Japan several times in the year. This is what he does. He is the leadership in Nintendo of America, and Nintendo of America needs to communicate with Japan. But these meetings, what do they entail? Because it seems like something big is brewing. A lot of people are remarking the possibility of a Nintendo Switch 2, of a blowout for the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, of a likely earlier Nintendo Direct. There are strong rumors for a Metroid Prime reveal of some sort, and Fire Emblem Engage reviews are coming out sooner than later, all suggesting very promising things for the game. Never mind this huge marketing campaign leading up to the release for the new Super Mario Bros. Movie. Something big is happening at Nintendo. Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone, this is On Just Restart, and as I alluded to in my intro, we're going to be talking about what's going on with Nintendo right now. So during this weekend, yes, Doug Bowser started tweeting out that he's heading to Japan. He's showing a trip. He has one picture of him setting off on the plane, a beautiful picture, and then the next day, he shows that he's arrived in Japan. So he's in Japan, which makes sense. He's the president of Nintendo of America. He's going to be going to Japan consistently. He's actually been to Japan the last few months. He's been going to Japan a lot to do meetings, which makes sense. So to jump into this and assume that, oh my gosh, Nintendo is having a meeting where they're planning the biggest Nintendo Direct ever, they're going to show off Tears of the Kingdom, they're going to reveal a next generation system, they're going to give us Metroid Prime 4, like all of those things sound amazing, and I'm definitely anticipating all those things at one point or another. But I think we should perhaps take a step back because we don't know what they're doing. But at the same time, we know they're doing something. And that part's the exciting part. Because yes, Doug Bowser is going to Nintendo of Japan to engage in meetings and have discussions and plan out how they're going to reveal and market their products. Because there are big, big things on the way. And every day, things get a little bit closer and closer. Fire Emblem Engage is coming out at the end of this week, and reviews are supposed to come out tomorrow, and the fact that they're coming out this soon suggests that they're pretty good. And we already talked about everything we've heard about from previews, everything we've seen. It's looking very, very promising. This game is going to be a great game, it appears, and that's going to be a great way for Nintendo to start off the year. Fire Emblem Engage is coming out January 20th, which is pretty early. Legends Arceus was already a pretty major early release last year, and that came out a week later into the year. So Nintendo's starting things off strong, and we know Tears of the Kingdom marketing is about to start any day now. Nintendo is gearing up for something. Now, what exactly is that something? Is there anything to suggest that this year could be more special than any other year? Well, maybe, but I also should say that does it have to be a better year than any other year? Because, well, the years have been pretty good on Nintendo Switch. And if anything, the fact that we're getting Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like that on its own should speak very well for what this year is going to entail. But let me tell you this, my personal belief is that this is going to be one of my favorite years for Nintendo Switch. And that is based off my predictions, and my predictions could be wrong. But let me just quickly summarize what my predictions are. Yes, I am predicting Tears of the Kingdom will come out, it will not be delayed, that's a pretty safe bet at this point. But I'm also anticipating announcements for other products. For example, the next big Mario release. We're getting a Mario movie this year, which is already incredibly exciting, but I think it's likely that there will be a major Mario game to follow this up. That just makes the perfect amount of business sense. The reason Nintendo is putting out their characters into their movies, into their theme parks, into their merchandising and mobile games is to expand their reach, obtain a larger audience, and then once that larger audience has the intrigue of Nintendo's characters, they then become more likely to come to systems like the Switch and buy those particular games, thus giving them even more revenue. So I do think something is happening soon. And I know sometimes people like to argue, well, just because one thing is happening doesn't mean they're going to do the other, but it kind of does. Here's an example, and this is a smaller thing that people would be like, oh no, Nintendo would never do that. And that's Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4, back in 2015, Shigeru Miyamoto told us the game is nearing completion. It's now supposed to come out in 2023. but we finally have a release date and we finally have footage on it. What happened between 2015 and 2023, we do not know. However, I talked about the last year or so, before it was even announced, or a year to 2 years, that sort of window. There were things we were seeing that Nintendo was doing that were strongly suggesting that they were doing things to build up the Pikmin brand. So what do I mean? Well, Nintendo opened up Super Nintendo World, and Super Nintendo World currently is just about Mario. Eventually, they will expand to other things, like the currently announced Donkey Kong expansion. But something they had hidden throughout the entire Mario Park are Pikmin. Not Animal Crossing villagers, not Koroks from The Legend of Zelda or Link or what have you, or Minish. Not Pokemon like Pikachu or Charmander or Bulbasaur. Pikmin. A much smaller niche franchise than those. Why? Could it just be a nice soft touch by Shigeru Miyamoto who loves Pikmin? Maybe. But it goes deeper because Nintendo then announced Pikmin Bloom, and Pikmin Bloom has come out. It is a major mobile game. Something that Nintendo has told us they want to use to expand their audience for the different franchises, their different characters. Just like the theme parks. So you have Pikmin in theme parks. You have Pikmin in the mobile game. And they also came out with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. They enhanced Pikmin 3 from the Wii U. They gave Pikmin 3 another chance to succeed on the larger install base of the Switch. Now you could say, oh, it was all for Pikmin 3 Deluxe. No. That was just setting things up, establishing the franchise on a larger install base, and perhaps in some ways seeing how well it does, and it's doing well. But all these things were a precursor to Pikmin 4, to establish the Pikmin brand in today's market on the Switch amongst a larger audience beyond the Switch, hence Pikmin in the theme parks, Pikmin Bloom, the mobile game, and Pikmin 4 is coming. So when we take a look at this Mario movie, which is garnering more attention than anything else movie related when it comes to video games, this I strongly believe, while it will be big in and of itself, it's not just about being big in and of itself. It's about expanding the audience further. This is Nintendo's big master plan. They talk about it on their financials all the time. So yes, I think a big Mario game is coming. Not to mention, Mario Odyssey came out back in 2017, and the last time we had a mainline 2D Mario was 2012. So we are absolutely due for something major. And currently we only know about Tears of the Kingdom coming out this May, and then beyond that, the only thing after that is Pikmin 4. Nintendo needs to fill up the year. So even if Mario doesn't come out this year, there's a really good chance it's announced. And that's another big product here. And then we have the inevitable Nintendo Switch 2. That's coming at some point or another. And newsflash, I just mentioned a Mario Odyssey came out in 2017. We are now in 2023. The Switch came out March 2017, and we are close to 6 total years of the system being out on the market. Not saying the Switch 2 is coming out tomorrow, but typically console generations only last about 5 years for Nintendo. There are some exceptions, sometimes they go to 6, but to 7? We haven't seen that since the NES era. Now handhelds do last a little bit longer, and the Switch is a bit of a hybrid, but yeah, 6 to 7 years, we are there. We are really, really close to the Nintendo Switch 2. And when we factor in this likelihood of a big Mario game, there's a very good chance a big Mario game and a new system are going to be paired up together. Never mind the history of Nintendo using actually Zelda to push a lot of hardware, and we have Tears of the Kingdom, a game that's been in development for also 6 years, the longest gap between major Zeldas ever, and there's so much anticipation for this particular game. I'm not saying that Tears of the Kingdom is going to absolutely launch alongside new hardware, but given the history of Nintendo either using Mario or Zelda to push new hardware, and with new hardware inevitably being around the corner, never mind the leaks from Nvidia and all of that, and then different insiders suggesting so, we are close. Nintendo's not going to skip both Zelda and Mario not having new hardware. Something is coming soon. And then we've talked about on the channel how it seems like Metroid Prime 4 may be nearing completion based off Retro Studios doing hirings for confirmed unannounced projects. Metroid Prime 4 is an announced project, so it suggests that Retro Studios is also moving past Metroid Prime 4, meaning either A, that they're canning the project, which I'm going to assume no, and more likely being that they are transitioning from finishing Prime 4 onto their next big project. So, if it isn't Mario, if it isn't Zelda, Prime 4 is something that Nintendo's been working on for years, hiring a whole bunch of talent for at Retro Studios, something they're treating with care similar to the Zelda franchise, hence the development update, which is something they did for Metroid when they announced the restart back in 2019, or when they announced the delays for the mainline Legend of Zelda series. This is going to be a big thing as well. So for whatever reason you believe it's not Mario or Zelda that are going to be pushing new hardware, Prime 4 is not that far off either, it seems, and that likely will be used to push new hardware too. So you have all these different things that could be happening. And I am predicting that we could see something Mario, as I said earlier, and then I think something Metroid's happening this year. I'm not saying it's Prime 4, but I think we get some announcement of something, and then Fire Emblem Engage I think is going to be a great start to the year. And going back to my predictions, I am predicting other things, like, for example, a F-Zero remaster. So with things like Metroid and F-Zero and Fire Emblem and the best thing ever in Zelda and Mario, this year for me is looking incredibly promising. And I absolutely think that this is leading to something huge. I think it's going to be a great year. And even if we don't get some sort of surprise announcement in January, historically speaking, we usually get something in February then. So we're just a few weeks away from at least a general Nintendo Direct, most likely. And that's pretty exciting, and I do think that big things are coming. We already know about some of them, with the Mario movie, and Zelda, and Fire Emblem. I think it's going to be a great year, and I can't wait till we get even more information, more news, and just games to talk and play. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Anyways, everyone, this is Andres Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.